we finally get to see a black barbershop, which, other than Luke Cage and the literal movies named Barbershop, don't really show up that often in media. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I am taking a look at the new Pixar animated movie Soul. Okay, here's the thing. Pixar's back. Pixar's fucking back. This movie was phenomenal. I think for me personally, probably right up there with Inside Out, which in my opinion, alongside Toy Story, Inside Out is one of the greatest animated movies ever made. It kind of feels like Pixar has grown up with their fans and they're not hiding it. Soul is 100% like not really a kid's movie. This is pretty much meant for anyone going through a quarter-life, midlife crisis. Gotta start out by saying Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey, fantastic voiceover work. I mean, all of the voiceover stuff in this film is really great, all the performances. But Jamie Foxx, I mean, especially the fact that he does kind of change his voice a little bit to really match the worn down, middle-aged character that he's playing. You almost wouldn't even know it's him. 22, the character Tina Fey plays, also pretty beaten down, kind of a little bit lost, and both characters meeting each other at this point in their respective lives really creates a fantastic relationship in the movie. Obviously, Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey are great, but the writing in Soul is also really strong. Now, there are definitely a few moments where it feels like they threw a few lines in to justify that this is a PG kids movie, but Pixar is making a movie for adults. One of the things that makes Soul really great is that it really speaks to you. I mean, whether or not you've found your passion or what it feels like you're meant to do in your life, this movie is exploring whether or not you may be wrong. Soul really forces you to take a look at yourself, and it's impossible not to evaluate your life as you watch this film, and you follow someone who never really took a chance to sit down and evaluate their own. And I think we're at a really crucial point for Pixar where they are towing a fine line between making movies for kids and making movies for their adult fan base who grew up watching their original kids movies. Pixar's also done a great job with representation recently, and Soul is no different. I mean, the jazz setting, putting it in uptown Manhattan, we finally get to see a black barbershop, which, other than Luke Cage and the literal movies named Barbershop, don't really show up that often in media. And we even get to see the barbershop having this sense of community for Joe, but he doesn't necessarily ever realize that he doesn't really know all that much about the people in the barbershop, let alone the man who's been cutting his hair for years. This is a film that's going to cause a lot of introspection. I mean, it certainly seems like that's what Pixar's going for with this one. To cover themes of life and death and anxiety and depression, Pixar's going in a really, really interesting direction. And I certainly hope, as this film proves that they're 100% not out of ideas, but I certainly hope that going forward, even more of their films start to tackle more real-world issues like this and reflect the real world for what it is. It's refreshing to see a character in a movie like this that isn't necessarily struggling, right? Joe's not homeless. He's got an apartment and he's doing okay, but he's struggling to really feel a sense of purpose and whether or not he's reaching high enough for the level of success he wants to achieve. You know, animation definitely makes these subjects a lot more palatable, and they come off as less preachy and more as, let's just take a look at this. It's dressed up the way we like it, right? It's cartoon. Who doesn't love cartoons? And for that matter, the animation in this film is super sharp. I mean, you can tell Pixar put money into this one. It looks absolutely incredible. They do a really good job of separating the soul, spiritual realm, purgatory that Joe is sent to versus the real world that he lived in. The real world being vibrant and rich and full of color, and the land of Soul sort of just being this ominous blue and pink and white field. This film really shows that Pixar is still at the top of the animation world. Is it a kids movie? Probably not. I think we may be seeing the end of Pixar explicitly trying to make films for kids. They're making films that kids can certainly watch, but I don't think a 10-year-old is gonna have the same reaction to a film like this that someone who might be in their late 20s, 30s, 40s definitely would. Soul immediately shot to the top of the list of my favorite Pixar films, and I'm excited to see, hoping that Pixar continues to push the boundaries of what a kids movie can be, as they seem to drift more into the direction of just making films for the people like us who were kids when the studio first started, and as we grow up, they've grown up with us. 1000% recommend checking out Soul, guys. It is a phenomenal film. 100% gonna go back and probably watch it again in the not too distant future. I hope you give it a look. It is a fantastic movie. That's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. My first review of 2021. Man, starting it off with a fantastic movie. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.